All right, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Minetest gameplay of sorts. Yeah, and it actually is today because I have solved all the world problems. Look at that. But how's everybody doing out there? Excellent. 81 degrees in the Chicagoland area, and it is this whole week the weather has been just absolutely phenomenal. So we are out here at this modern farmhouse. Cool. Over at night, full moon. And coincidentally, there's going to be a full moon in one day. Cool. So there is that. But I'm going to tell you how I solved all the graphics issues. You can see it here. And yeah, that door isn't sitting right, but they're all solved, and I will show you. Plus, there is a world download I have made, and it's getting kind of harder and harder each time to create said world download. But it's at night. We're going to go to day so you can see everything. Look at that, just like magic. Cool. So, what we have here, and all my shadows are working. There's still some glitches with 5.9.0, but they're doable. You can see my frame rate, and I compared it to the 5.8. Oh, look at the Widow Bunny Wabbit. Okay. It's shiny. See what we got over here. We got a bird. I also added the utility door. You can see how all of a sudden my FPS went down. Take a look inside the dealership here. Very nice. But, why is there a beehive? I've gotten rid of that thing so many times. Everything for the most part is working. I don't know why down here. Look at that. There's a wolf in the tree. Why? Look at the shadows. Cool. So the world lives for another iteration. So I'm happy. But we're going to take a walk down here because I beautified this area. I got the trees in. We put in the couches and everything. So you come in here, there's a couch, there's tables. It's an information center, a restroom. Oh, forgot to close the door. We don't want the bears to come in. But mainly, you come back here. There's a goat. I made the cave look more realistic. You can tell now all the graphics are doing what they're doing. This is bothering me. I don't like that. So we are going to rectify. There we go. Nice situation. I want to do something with this cave. Oh, that's kind of cool. Love those vines. How far back does it go? That's it. Nice. So this area is done. There's always the chance of making it overdoing it. So you can come back here, you can park and have a picnic. I do have to fix these. The texture on here does not match my texture here. So there was a couple questions that came in as I walk over. The other thing is you can see there's no cars in the parking lot right now, but as we get closer, As we, yeah, we get closer. There they go. They popped in. So there's some settings on I have to fix. And that's not really red. That's almost orange. Ooh, there's a camel. So I'm still going through the settings to find the most optimal settings. Where's the one question I have to grab? Said phone because I have Gmail. George wrote in some time ago you showed that you could put things next to glass that did not attach. The object in front of the glass pane, how was that done? That was actually Nathan over in Minetest videos back in the day. As you come on, open. There we go. As you can see over here, there is this glass which will not connect to this chair. What is that's just regular glass. I will show that. And he actually went in. There's a way to whitelist. So you have your door here. And so the chair in my R block mod right there. And let's grab a chair from, let's grab that chair. So if I put that chair down, you can see the glass connects. However, if I put this chair down, it does not. And it's because it's been whitelisted in the mod. Now there's another way of doing it. So if you have your glass here, let's put the chair here. You can take your replacer tool and do that and place it. And look at that, it doesn't connect. That's a little trick that I've used a lot. But then you go back and it does that. Or you can also take your said replacer tool and copy the clean glass there, and it goes away. And it won't come back until you place that down. So I will check out the X panes because now this is L panes. Now you see when that happens, if you make any changes, you'd have to go back. But other than that, it works. So let us go back. And so that's one way of doing it to make the glass not connect. I might as well show it right now. Let's go back over here. This area, I like it. There's my police car. I know there's a setting on how things render. And at this point, I'm not really too worried about it. So, got this cool park area here with a tortoise. Nice. And I'm not touching this. I think the only thing I did to this area was add the forest trees. That's cool. I cannot find anything else that's not working in the 5.9.0 update. Other than there's no more texture problems, and I will let you in on how I fix that. So down here, this is all natural. I never touched it. This I cut through because we have the resort. So all the glass, this was always done that. The glass glitching like that. And that is X panes. And that's fine. There's always going to be a give and take. And this over here. Nice. You can see all the textures are working as advertised. I really do like this house, especially with the apocalyptic donut of doom. Other than that, everything This is a fancy artsy house that I built. It's nice. Cool. Automatic doors. I said automatic. Yes, automatic doors. So, I'm going to show how I fixed everything. So, in the last episode, what I went through and did, you see that little glitching there. Because the FPS is at 30. No, they're 32. So, look at that custom garage with chandelier. Nice. Some of these houses, I build houses of which I would like to have in real life. Look at this for a game room. Nice. Who wouldn't want a tree in a forest? Now, this is from, I actually, back in the day in the 80s, I did satellite communications. And I handled a bunch of private property because cable TV back in the day was not like you know it today. Especially in an apartment complex. They had private cable companies because franchise cable companies weren't as they are now, like your Comcast and TCI CableNet and all, whatever your local cable provider is. And so apartment complexes had their own satellite dishes and head ends. And I went and there was a real estate developer. And inside his house was a 2.5-story oak tree. And it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And there were bird cages made out of this ultra thin wire. So he had exotic birds that looked like they were flying around. And I've always fallen in love with bringing nature into places where you would never really see it. So that's why I do that. Unfortunately, if this tree ever died, could you imagine the cost that it would take to cut that tree down? And then you got just this bare space. So this is a garage. Nice. Everything is working. I'm gonna show that. We're gonna go fly to someplace interesting. This is another favorite house. Just be so cool to live in real life in places like this, where you don't have to worry about space or, because a house like this would be in the millions. Went around and put some automatic doors in. And I've shown how I've done that with the player detector and the gates. Nice. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with this. Look at that, a pool in the center of the house. So that's how, and we'll take a look at the L Panes mod in a second here, because I'm going to show, and this will go back to the second question. So there was a question, Triple H times 3. And that question was, I am a tinkerer as far as Minetest modding is concerned. Recently been playing the settlements mod, have created my own settlements following the guide. I would like to request permission to use some of your builds from your world to create another settlement type for the settlements mod. And basically, there's been a couple people that have asked if they could, and it's really cool that somebody reached out and asked for that. Yes, and I will show it where you can find the world. But I made the world available as a download. and you could use anything in the world any way you want. One of the things, somebody created a world where they would blow it up. As long as you have the original world file, you can do whatever you want in this. And I always thought it would be interesting to create a first person kind of like shooter game. And somebody did that. I cannot remember the name of the person, but they created a world and a game where you fought zombies and come on, open. There we go. And they created, it was a zombie type game, and you could blow things up and you could do things, and that is really cool because you can always reset the game back to the original state, which, you know, you're not damaging anything, you're not destroying anything. So with the world download, and this person wanted to use like some of the builds in their game. Oh, by all means, go for it. That's a huge honor that you'd want to do that. The only thing I ask, and I put in the README that if you're going to use stuff from another person's world, to give attribution, like just say where you got it from. And I don't even care about that. The only thing that would bother me is if somebody else turned around and said, "Oh, I created this world. This is my creation." That's where, you know, it's like, no. And we've seen that before where people claim a video, they did it. And it's like, no, you didn't. So yes, by all means, the custom textures and everything else, please use them. I am greatly appreciative and flattered that you'd want to use my creation in your game. So thank you. Now let's look at, this was the inspiration for the old Helen Plum library in Lombard, which they tore down. It is completely gone. And I understand, you know, the city, so it was set in a trust from, the guy's name was Colonel Plum in real life. And it in the game Clue, he had Colonel Plum. But when his wife died and he died, he had set the land aside as a community park and set everything into a trust. So it was, plus the library, it was meant that anybody could go in there and read a book and take out a book. This is back in the early 1900s. The whole, and the building was donated. And then they added on to the building. But consequently, over the years, see, the graphics are kind of, I still can't, I'll get into the saturation levels. I'm still having a problem with that. And I've played with that. So I understand when the new Helen Plum library went up about a half mile from Lilacia Park, which is the park that he donated, him and his wife donated, they outgrew the building, even with the additions and the patio and the upper deck. And it was a beautiful building, and it went straight into the park. So you could go into the library, and then you walk up the stairs on the outside, and you went up to like a seating area that overlooked the park, and then you could walk down into the park, and there was a fountain. The fountain and everything else is still there. It's just the main building is gone. And you were like, why did they tear it down? There's nothing wrong with this building. Well, it was zoned for, especially zoned for a library. So they can't change the building into anything else commercial. There's no parking. There's very little parking around the park. The park district had a building on the outskirts of it, which was their administration building. So they couldn't use it as like a meeting or convention, or there's nothing commercially that they could do with the building. The building couldn't sustain itself. They couldn't sell anything out of the building, like put like concession stands or anything like that. There's, like I said, there's no parking. So the only thing they could do is tear it down and expand the park to the empty area that it was. So as sad as it seems, you kind of saw the writing on the wall that that's what they were doing, or that's the only logical solution that they had. And so it's sad. We're just walking and talking here. There's a fox. There's a shopping mall. Very nice. Bunch of restaurants and hotel rooms. Because we're just cruising along. So what I am going to do here, speed it up a little bit, go over to the... I've kind of done everything I wanted with this world. There's some more things. I want to do like an evil castle. And I never did get... Somebody offered to help with the digi-lines to make this all automatic. I just don't have any time. I just don't have the time to spend on, you know, really doing what I want to do with this world. Oh, there's a train. I like how the trains just kind of... In 5.8, the trains and the cars populate quicker. Nice. And the railway system is kind of unrealistic, but it works. It really works. Look at that. So, how... Look at my convention center. Everything is working. All the textures, all the gates, everything is looking the way they should. Look at that, a public swimming pool with fishies. Nice. This is the hotel convention. I was visiting this yesterday with... This is the automotive museum. We got a... Oh. Wow, I really... Do I have... No, disabled. View range is 80. This is the automotive museum. And I was in here yesterday. And it's so... other than the dolphin sitting there. But that would be so cool to go to an aquarium and walk through a tunnel. And there's some that are like this, where you walk through a little tunnel and you got water all around you. So that is neat. But let's take a look at how you download the world and how you do the mods. And this building here is my interpretation of the conservatory buildings, which in Chicago, there's one, the Garfield Park Conservatory, which it has an all glass roof, stained glass roof and everything. So let us go here. Now, if we go in here, wow, I'm professional. Go to my website at rgsproductions2005.com, which again, you can go see. There's my screenshots, and then there's screenshots. And I should have put this at the beginning of the last video. Jerry had created a trailer park, which turned out really cool. That does look like a trailer, and I told a story about double wide trailer that I had been in that had a basement and an attic. So very nice. But if you go, the latest mod post, it shows here, new world download for 5.9. And yeah, it's over on Mediafire, but You can check it for there. I've never had a problem with them. So when you download the folder, you download the zip file. It's rgsworld.zip. And there is a spelling error in the README, because of course there is. And I didn't see it until I uploaded it. When you download it, the RGS World, and unzip it, you will find 3 folders, a README file, and minetest.conf. The minetest.conf is just all the settings. And from what I was told, that if the minetest.conf file is in the world folder, it will use that world. It'll use the settings from that file. It'll override the settings from the main game. As we're in here, these are all my worlds. This is the base directory where it is. Now I'm on a Mac. In Windows, if you're running the run in place file, and on Linux, which you are running the, see, here's the minetest.conf file here. On Windows, where you're running, not Windows, Linux, you can get to the user directories. So if let's open up this one. So this is the new one. This is the, did I just kill? No, I didn't. You know what? Let's exit to the main window. Shutting down. Uh-oh, the beach ball of death. Oh, whew. Cool. If you go to the About tab of the game, open user directory, and it opens up exactly where we were. So as this, we're going to restart the game. There we go. So it'll actually show you where it's at. Now you have a worlds folder, you have a textures folder, and a mods folder. These mods are for the entire game. So if you go into my mods folder here and double click on that, these are the mods that I cannot put in the world mods folder because they, for whatever reason, they conflict or whatever, but they need to be in the game mods folder to run. So that works out there. The RGS folder is the actual world, and you would copy that folder into your worlds folder. The textures folder contains RGS textures, all the modified textures that I use for the game. This is a combination of Polyguyana, the high resolution HDX textures, and some of the textures I created on using GIMP and other free public domain sources, which they're in the README file, and in the mods folders there are attribution to whoever created it. So, and if we go into RGS, see the world mods folder, we go down to my mods. Now each mod here, basically all these mods are, they have you know, the licenses and everything in there. So here's the credits file. These are everywhere that I've gotten all my textures from, and they're all public domain or Creative Commons. And it also shows the website that I got it from. This is openclipart.org, which is an awesome website for graphics. Yes. So you're going to put the texture folder, textures. Oh, wait, that's, let me go back. There we go. RGS textures. You're just going to copy that into your textures folder. And that's where all your textures go. And then like I said, if you have any problems with the settings, the Minetest.conf file should override anything that's inside the worlds folder, like this world mods folder. These mods will take precedence over anything in the game mods folder. So if you had, by theory, if you had the same one in here that was different, it would work. It's hard to, you might find that if you try adding mods to this world, that they would conflict. And that's because the mods that are in the mods folder, I have not mutilated. However, because DreamPack, where is it? CD Dream Builder, the mod pack, there are several mods in here that I've gone in and altered and made changes to additions, like in the street lights and stuff like that. Plus, you can't get this Dream Builder mod anymore. It's now a game. Now, on the other quick thing, real quick, before we go back to the game, the mod that made all the graphics problems go away, because I sat down after the last episode and I went in and, I wanted to find L-Panes. I went in, I put a link in the description of the last video. It's called Alpha Workaround. And I just went in and I Googled again, or DuckDuckGo'd again, the transparent texture issues in 5.9. And towards the bottom of the post came up, it said, oh yeah, there's a mod for that. It's like, what mod? So if you go into content.db, we go into minetest.net, we go in there real quick. I'm professional. And you go down, content.db, which this is one way to get to the mods. And workaround. There it is. There it is. Use texture alpha workaround. So what this mod is made to do, and yes, I thumbed it up what this mod is meant to do is it's actually very cool how it works. What they do is whenever there is a transparent or a mesh used in the game, in whatever mod it's being used in, this will see it and it will add the use texture alpha string to it. So it's made to, if you're running a server and that on that server somebody connects, you're at 5.8, but somebody connects the client 5.9 client, they won't get the messed up textures like you saw in what I had. So it works really cool. So what it does is, once it sees it, it adds that to that texture on the fly, so you don't see the glitching with the transparent textures or the meshes. So it's very cool how that works. So let's take a look at, no, I'm in the wrong one. World mods. I have so many mods in here. Is there an L-Panes? See, the laptop, LED marquee, L-Panes, yes. So L-Panes, and I think it's in here. There's a whitelist. It's been a long time since I went in there. There's an area. There's the colors. Alpine's loaded. Oh. So basically what happened was Nathan added a list. Oh. No join. So in the Alpane's mod, if you open up the init.lua, you can see here all these things that are in there. How the texture is when you see the texture. So our block chair black, our block, the mod name with a colon and the actual texture equals true in brackets. And add nodes you don't want the panes to connect to here. So that's how that was actually done. So if you want to venture in, and if you're ever gonna make any changes to a mod, just copy it originally and put it somewhere else. Put the version somewhere else, or you could actually even put it here and rename it as a backup file, init.back. So if you screw up the init.lua, which is what runs the mod, and you do something in there that now the game won't start, you can always just copy the old one back to it and go from there. That's how that works. And you have a copy. I make a backup copy of everything because I'm that paranoid. I don't want to lose anything. So, yeah, we're at 37 minutes. So hopefully that explains everything. And the going back to the give attribution. So whenever I do a build, because we're flying back over to home base, or my home base that I'm staying at now. That's the cool thing about this world, is you can live in any house. There are several builds in here that I have made from inspiration from other either Minecraft or Minetest builds. And one is the grain mansion and the actual house that we were in, which is the modified modern farmhouse. So as we're flying over, where is the mansion? There it is. It's coming up. There it is. This house was created almost as a 1x1 representation. And a YouTuber by the name of Grain had built that and did a tutorial on it. And I liked it so much, I wanted to see if I could make it into my world. And I did, using the equivalent blocks. But that is inspiration from somebody else's build. And I like it. And the other one, I put my take on it, my twist. So the UFO house, this was a house that was done by either Corrales or Andy as Yoda. But mine's different because theirs was on one level. I have a garage and basement on here with a utility room. But for the most part, and my landscaping and pool area is way different than theirs. But this is the inspiration that I took, was from those two Minecrafters, and created my own thing. But I will always say where I got my inspiration from, which is cool. So there's a world download, and I will put a link in the description for this video of where you can find it. I don't want to watch the fire. Yeah, I do. I'm gonna leave you all with the watching the fire, like it's real. So thank you very much for joining. The next video, I'm gonna start building again, but it's always cool to just fly around and look at things. And there's a lot. There's subways, there's mines, there's secret passages, there's castles. You know, download the world. And hopefully, now how I tested it is I downloaded everything to my Lenovo Linux laptop and followed the same procedures that I described here. And the game opened immediately with no alterations. I didn't have to troubleshoot anything. It just opened. So hopefully if you download the world, it'll do the same for you and go from there. So thank you very much for watching. And till the next episode, goodbye.